What's going on, guys? A Myth here, and today I bring you a drawing video. Haven't done this in a long time as this is on my tablet and not on my OBS through capture card on my PC. So I apologize if the voice, audio, whatever is a little bit different because it's on my tablet. Um, Today what we're going to be doing is scouting. So I did the scouting video a couple days ago. That was like, Town Hall 8s hitting 9s, 9s hitting 10, helping out. This is actually scouting from a planning perspective. I hit two bases this war that I scouted semi-intensively, and I just wanted to share some insights since base planning, attacking is probably key to your actual attack. If you just go in there and wing it, you're gonna suck, and people are gonna make fun of you. So my first attack here, I hit a Town Hall 11, which was very, very exciting because we were mismatched. So I'm just going to go through and point out a couple of things that I first look at. Almost all Town Hall 10 attacks start with some sort of queen walk. So that's where I started. First off, I looked at the expos. So we have an expo on ground, expo ground, expo ground, and expo ground. Next, we look at the air defenses. Air defense there, behind a wall, queen can't get it. Again, behind a wall, queen can't get it. Now up here is where we start to have some success. Air defense, queen can pick. Air defense, queen can pick. So pretty much because of the air defense placements plus the ground expos, that leaves, anywhere down here not really safe. You're going to have a ground expo on you the entire time, and you can't reach the air defenses unless you wall break in. So your queen's just gonna, die once the healers die. So what we were looking at is these air defenses up here, the queen can reach. So let's simulate a walk and see what we get here. So let's say we start the queen, because here's the corner. So I like to start on corners because it's very predictable. And here's an army camp, which makes for an easy funnel. So if we start the queen here, and we get her to go that way, we're going to take out that building, that building, that building, that building, that building. And then somewhere right around there, we're going to engage the clan castle, because it looks about probably like that, I think. Can't click on it right now. We're going to take out that building, this building, and if she keeps walking, we take out the rest of this. So I liked where this was going, and this eventually leads into a really nice funnel because everything is right here in the core. Both Infernos, two Expos, and the Eagle, all really high value. So we're going to keep going with all of this. And so what we've done is all of this has been dealt with. I apologize for how ugly that looks. So all we're left with is that compartment with a bunch of storages and the core, which is where we really want to get to. So what we do is, to get there, we place a wonderful jump spell right there. Now this compartment, we don't want to leave the jump spell into there because it's a useless compartment. There's nothing of value in there. So we don't go into there. Now the problem with pathing is because so much value is in the core, it just screamed Valks. Heavy hit points. Bowlers would maybe be okay, but they would take longer to get there because they'd shoot these side buildings. So I went with Valks. Now the problem is, let's change to a different color here, is if we enter right here, if we say drop a golem right there, because the Eagle Artillery, you have to drop a golem to attract the fire, otherwise it's going to hit the Valks and just bad days going to happen. So drop him there, but the problem is if your whole kill squad comes in right there, and then this stuff's not cleared, they're going to go down here, and then they're either going to go out, or they're going to want to go into this compartment. They will not come back to the jump spell. So what I had to do was use a baby dragon to take out that, and that. Then once my kill squad came in, they would do that, hit the archer tower, and then head straight in. So That's a wonderful diagram right there. I was only going for 2 stars, but it ended up being pretty successful. So that was my overall plan and what I needed to do. The last thing that I'll discuss as to why I did what I did, I could have started a queen and gone this way, but the problem with that is, so then my jump spell would be over here, but the queen is in this compartment right here. So she could jump into the core maybe, which would be weird. She could jump into this compartment with the warden, which would be ideal. Then that helps my Valk pathing. Or she could just stay right here, go up, nestle between the gold storage and the wall, and that would throw my Valks, instead of heading and taking the jump spell into the core, they would get sidetracked and go over here and never really make it into the core. That was why I decided to come from the other direction and come here and go this way, because I knew whichever way the Valks went, the king would hop the wall, either into this compartment or into this compartment or into the core. The king will hop the wall. He's not going to stand behind it. And then because I was coming from this direction, the queen for sure would hop into the core, or she would hop into this compartment. Either way, I'd be okay because I had jump spell connecting them. So that was the logic behind all that. So let's watch this actually unfold in action. As you can see, 3 minutes there. I ran out of time, so we'll see how close I get. Down goes the baby dragon, help off the funnel with the army camp, which is really, really key. Queen takes out the mortar, takes out the wizard tower, and then she starts walking clockwise. Fortunately, my CC timing was a little bit off. I didn't expect it that early. So double poison right there. Had to burn a rage, which is, expected and normal, but slightly sad. Queen keeps walking. We'll speed through this queen walk right here. Keeps taking out buildings, going up and around. And one of the key thing with this is timing. Pause it right here. With Valks, closed queen walks are awesome, and you really need to get the timing down. So the queen and the Valks meet up at pretty much the same time, and the healers, since the Valks are all grouped up, the healers transfer onto the larger troop space group, and the healers follow the Valks throughout the base. So Golem comes down to attract the Eagle Fire. Baby Dragon, Wizard take out the army camp, and they take out that mortar, which, as I said, was key. Valks just beat through a wall because it's tiny, and with that mortar gone, they immediately take the jump spell. King hopped the wall just like I thought he would. There's a heal spell and a freeze right on top of each other. Queen jumped into the core, drags all the Valks backwards. Rage for most of the core, and everything is dead. And as you can see, that nice healer transfer happened onto the Valks. Now, unfortunately, that whole time, I forgot my bowlers and eventually remembered them, and they came down, but it was a little too late. Take out the Expos, pop the Queen ability there. Valks with healers, they'll start working around. Fortunately, we had another sad, tragic accident. 2 wizards, same spring trap. That's what ultimately really, really screwed me. Valkyries beat through a lot of wall. And because there's nothing on the outside now, the Valks will eventually have to beat their way out. Healers are on the king now, going through, destroying stuff. We'll speed through this. But that was the general plan there. So you guys can see the healer transfer onto that. And my queen walk is pretty much dictated for me just by the base. Because the expos were on ground, covered the whole bottom portion, wasn't really safe. And then those exposed air defenses on top that I could pick up. So that's the stuff that you're sort of starting to look for. All right, our second attack was used on an actual Town Hall 10, which went a little bit better, I guess you could say. So let's start out with the scouting here. So ring base, the two things, actually the only thing that is huge in a ring base is funneling. So no matter where you enter from, here, funnel. Cut off a couple of buildings, everything's go in. That's the main idea. It doesn't really matter which two corners you do it from. There's lots of different methods to do it. Queen walk, bowlers, king with a few wizards, golem with a few wizards. Multiple ways to do it. You can just leave it up to chance, which sometimes works too. Heroes in the core, they'll just aggro stuff and it'll fly in. So lots of different ways to do it, but that's the basic premise there. So if we look at the air defenses though, that pretty much dictated what we could do again. So if we look at the expos, look at the expos here, ground, ground, ground. The only corner, there's my phone. The only corner that doesn't have one is down here. So that's the soft side. That's what we're looking for, which lines up very nicely with the air defenses. This one, the queen could probably reach it. This one, the queen could maybe reach. I'm not sure if she nestled in that corner. Queen can definitely reach that one, and the queen can definitely reach that one. So because she can reach that one on the bottom for sure, and there's no expo there, we're going to start the queen walk here to take out that stuff. And then so that's one side of the funnel. So my next side was between 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock where I wanted to create the funnel. I didn't really like 3 o'clock because there's those storages there. And let's draw this out. Be better. So if we take the queen, take out that, take out that, take out that, take out that, take out all that. So we got a nice little funnel there. So if we start at 3 and we take all that stuff with whatever, that means the Valks come in this way. The king will be a nice aggro. But what I didn't like about that is you're facing these two Infernos on both at the same time. One's multi, one single target, which if they're both multi, it'd be worse. But you face them both at the same time, which I didn't really like. So if we come in from this side and we funnel all of this stuff, then we're going to come in this way. We're going to fight the multi-Inferno first, which is more dangerous. And then we're going to fight the single, which really isn't that dangerous. So just because of the positioning of Infernos, that's what led me to want to go that way. Plus, the queen coming in this way is in the core. It would work. The king would hop the wall, and that would work too. So that's the sort of stuff that you kind of look for, is predicting pathing. You obviously can't fully predict everything to a science, but you can have a general idea. If I take this stuff out, if I take that stuff out, which direction will my troops head? And you can just look for stuff like that, like the ground expo, safer to queen walk on this side. On this side over here, I decided to do a bowler walk with CC bowlers because they're stronger, with a couple of healers, and my goal was to take all of that out. Didn't quite work so well, but it worked mostly well enough, I guess. So I think that's it for the scouting. I maybe could have come in from a different side, but I didn't really feel the need to look at it too much more because of the expo and that. And then the last thing we look at is the clan castle, which in the other one, it just naturally lured. But this one takes a bit of effort. So once we take out these two archer towers right here, the clan castle becomes in range of that cannon. Send in a couple hogs. Always send in 2 hogs. If it's just a lava hound, obviously you only need 1 or a golem. But if there's, a witch, crap load of wizards, archers, whatever, minions, if it's a bunch of tier 1, tier 2 troops, takes longer to lure, always bring 2 hogs. So that was my plan for the clan castle. Let's watch this in action now. Here comes a baby drag to tank and do some funneling. I was worried about both archer towers on her at the same time, so I dropped the baby drag in to tank one of the archer towers for a little while, which mostly worked out, but it's okay. So the archer towers went down. In come my 2 hogs to the cannon, lure out the clan castle. Pre-dropping poisons is huge. So there's the first one to slow them all down. There's the second one. So they're slowed the entire time, which is what's important. Only, I think, 2 Valks make it through all of that. The Wizards, the Archers, they just die. Don't even have to burn a Rage, which was key. Down come my Bowlers to do the other part of my funneling. Archer Tower goes down. Queen keeps walking a little bit. Unfortunately, my Bowlers stray a little. Queen starts to beat through the wall. Bowlers double back. I'm waiting on the left part of the funnel. I pre-dropped the jump spell just to save myself from trying to do too much later. The Bowlers die. The king goes down. I was trying to then use some king with some wizards to do a whole bunch, but that just didn't work out. And at this point, I just had to go with it and hope that enough is enough. Down come all my Valkyries. They beat through the wall. They head to the air sweeper. Tesla freeze the multi-inferno and the queen all at the same time. Drop a heal spell. And then as they get to the backside, drop another rage spell to work their way out the backside. And everything just came together pretty nicely, even though my funnel sucked a little bit. The rest of my plan was solid enough that, you gotta have a little wiggle room in your plans. Valks did really good. They beat through more walls, take out more stuff. Queen keeps walking around, and eventually we get the 3 stars. So hopefully that helped you guys planning kind of what you're looking for. I know this is Town Hall 10 stuff, but a lot of this applies at Town Hall 9 as well. There's soft sides to Town Hall 9 in terms of expos. Look for air defenses, obvious bomb spots, stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think, and hope you liked it.